Hi, I'm Ashley, and I'm HIV positive. I am from Long Island, New York, Suffolk County. When I first got my diagnosis out of college from just donating blood, I thought my whole life was over. I thought I would never be enough. I thought I would never amount to anything. I thought that all my dreams, aspirations were over, and I thought I was walking with something like the Black Plague. That's when the negative voices told me that I was just never going to be enough for myself, for anyone, and it was just better that I just don't exist. And those voices continue to repeat to me over and over again. I invited people into my life that continue to give me that same narration, and I expected nothing from no one. And I continued to get into negative relationships. I continued to cope with my HIV negatively. My outlook on life really began to spiral down. But there was a turning point when I became a mother and I had a son, and my son was a victim of abuse, and I needed to cope, and my coping skills ran out. That I needed to, I didn't cope with it correctly, and that's when I realized I needed support. I realized that I needed faith. I realized I needed a 12-step program. I realized I needed community. I realized I needed to build self-esteem, because that ringing voice of just never being enough, never qualified, never being smart enough, never being thin enough, all of these continue to sound true. And I always told myself that I was always going to be alone. And then I found community. I found other people who were living, who were thriving with HIV. I found people who looked like me, who had similar stories, who was also living and thriving with HIV. And I found my tribe. And I'm thankful that because I'm able to be on a platform who builds self-esteem, who builds self-worth, who builds community, that I can go into my own community and give back. So that negative noise inside of myself, I continue to combat it, sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes on a weekly basis, and sometimes even on just a yearly basis. That space that I think of myself less worthy becomes shorter and shorter and shorter, so that I can build the self-esteem that I need to become worthy for myself, for my son, and become a productive member of society. Because I know that when I can think of myself highly, when I can think of myself more, then I can make better choices for myself and for my son as a single parent. And I can live beyond my circumstances, and I can recover from the trauma. I can recover from just being just a person living with HIV, but I can be thriving. I can thrive in my community. I can thrive even in the midst of my mental health. I can thrive even in the midst of my HIV, and I can take my medication as prescribed. I can thrive in the midst of what I'm going through. So I thrive on a daily basis, regardless of my circumstance, and I continue to thrive because I am worthy, I am worth it, and there are so many other people who, as a community, we can thrive together. So I'm just grateful that I've found my tribe, and that we can continue to hold each other up hand in hand to continue to live and to thrive together. So thank you.